They captivate us, play on our fears, get repeated so many times, they become the folklore of our culture. After a while, we can no longer separate fact from fantasy. They are urban legends.
Over and over, people tell the stories of the man with the hook who attacks lovers up at Lover's Lane, the alligator in the sewers, the old lady that puts her poodle in a microwave to dry it off.
I remember hearing about an English teacher at college that took a bunch of Alka-Seltzer without putting it in the water first and then chased it with a big glass of water and his stomach exploded.
There was a legend, which I'm sure was actually true, that during the height of the bouffant hairdo craze, there was a woman whose hair was piled so high, there was a nest of, 12 black widow spiders in it. She didn't know, and she was bit on the head, and that was that.
Search engines on the internet are probably the most powerful way to find out about almost anything, and certainly urban legends. And you'll probably find like a website devoted to it and an entire message board and chat group, communicating about it.
There's a viral aspect, I think, to an urban myth. The way it catches on, the way it's repeated, the way it's told.
It only takes the one seeming example of it really happening to fuel 1,000 tellings.
I mean, the reason it grows is because each person that tells another person, tells another person, tells another person, it grows in stature and it becomes more real. The more people know about it, the more real it becomes.
The latest urban legend to scare its way into our psyche is also the subject of a new movie, The Ring, directed by Gore Verbinski. The Ring stars Naomi Watts and Martin Henderson and centers on the mysterious, deadly powers of a rather haunting videotape.
Have you heard about this videotape that kills you when you watch it? You start to play it, and it's like somebody's nightmare. And as soon as it's over, your phone rings. And what they say is, you will die in 7 days.
The premise is there's a tape. Even if you're told not to watch it, the first thing you're going to do is watch it.
At first it seems implausible, like this is ridiculous. There's nothing more to it than a couple of teenagers and urban myths, basically.
Would you say that I'm gullible?
No.
Easily rattled?
You're a little highly strung, maybe.
I watched the tape.
The scary part is this idea that something that is just normal, watching a video, suddenly becomes this life and death situation.
Oh, show it to me.
Just right there in that one sentence, to me, it's skin crawling, hair growing on your back kind of feeling.
Before you die, you see the ring.
The images on the tape, they're leading us somewhere.
I think the strength of a movie, or a horror movie in general, is that if we do our job, we ruin your dinner.
Tell me, miss, what is it you think you know?
Hello?
Before you die,
You see the ring. You see the ring.
Everyone will suffer.
You see the ring. You see the ring. You see the ring.
You saw it.
Hey. Sorry I'm late. No worries.
I'll wait in the car.
The good thing about her is that she's a flawed person, and, for an actor to play that kind of, real human being, we all have flaws, let's face it, we're not perfect, but she learns about herself throughout this process, and that's exciting for an actor, that she's, in a period of development, and in the beginning and the end of the movie, she's in 2 different places.
I knew that we needed a fresh face, yet with experience, for this part. It's a tough role, because you don't want a kind of familiarity with a character in a film like this. I think it's really disruptive. And Naomi brings guts, and she kind of earns it in every performance.
7 days.
There's a very strong emotional journey that the woman, Rachel Keller, the main character, has to go through. It has to do with not only her own survival, but the survival of her child. And as a result, there are these very intense, very real acting moments that have to be part of the story.
Why, baby? Why? Why?
I couldn't sleep.
And therefore, it seemed to me, you don't go for the star, go for the actress. You want to go for someone who, even if they're not really known to the audiences yet, will deliver those moments in a way that, like, the audiences will really be able to relate to.
Leave him alone!
Naomi has this ability to be extraordinarily intense in a moment without pushing the audience away. Somehow she lets you in no matter what. And it's an amazing ability. She's a very, very serious and qualified actress.
And action.
The sun came through the leaves, lit them up like it was on fire right at sunset. Right when I watched the tape.
She was perfect because she seduces us slowly and allows us to become, suddenly she's there and we're in the same environment she is, and we're, you know, suffering the same delusions that she is. The question of plausibility is erased because of her sort of integrity as a character.
Time to go, mister. I'm not finished. Noah said to make one for you.
Noah is, well, he's the ex-boyfriend of Rachel. He's a photojournalist and the father of their child. So he's a single dad who doesn't want to be a dad, basically. He doesn't really want to be around. So their relationship is somewhat strained. You're angry.
I'm not angry.
Oh, no, what are you then?
In a hurry.
Yet, as the movie progresses, they sort of rediscover their relationship, I think. And the good thing, I think, in the movie with in respect to my character's journey is that he kind of grows up through that. He kind of learns again to be around for her and the kid, and so there's kind of a maturity that happens right toward the end of the movie.
It's wonderful to see somebody of that age and still be a new face. It's the age range of a character that we've sort of starved for in Hollywood. You know, you've got the kind of 5 names you can use when you're looking for a leading man, and you run through those 5 names, and then you're kind of, who do you have? And I think Martin, to emerge now in America, I think he's going to do great.
I think what's great about Martin is that his natural exuberance and charm is a great counterbalance to the intensity of Naomi. And the two of them work together fantastic. He is so at ease and has such a kind of a natural charisma that he just kind of can occupy a role effortlessly. And his story, in some ways, in the ring, his character story is about a man who has to come to grips with the responsibility that he's been avoiding. And it's just the perfect fit with the kind of natural charm that Martin has, because he also backs it up with, like, extraordinary experience. This kid was like a star in television in New Zealand for many, many years. So while, you know, I think people who see The Ring will be seeing a kind of a new discovery, is it's actually a really, really experienced actor.
Excuse me, Mr. Morgan. I was wondering if you'd have a moment to speak with me.
In a movie about 3 people, when you get to meet another character, in this case Richard Morgan, played by Brian Cox, you want somebody that can kind of hold your attention.
Where's your daughter? Maybe she could help.
I don't have a daughter.
Excuse me?
What is it with reporters? You take one person's tragedy and force the world to experience it. You spread it like sickness. He's a kind of tragic character in a way. He's a man who's lost everything in his life. And he seems to be rattling around on this ranch that he has, which is a horse ranch, except there are no horses. Every now and then a writer comes along. Heard about what happened. What's left to write about, though? I don't know.
He's kind of a bit like a zombie. He lives in a sort of half-dead world, you know, where he hears voices. And he's obviously had to live like this most of his life, but he's used to it.
She's never going to whisper in my freaking ear ever again. But I think, given the circumstances that have happened, these voices are getting stronger.
Where is she? Please. I have to stop her. If I don't, my son will die.
Oh, yes. He will.
Brian Cox was who I had in my mind all along. I just couldn't think of anybody else I'd rather work with.
I play kind of lonely, abandoned feeling, kind of missing his mom and dad in a way, because they're kind of not there.
I don't have enough time.
Oh, honey, I know I've been working a lot. And I'm sorry, but I promise you I'm gonna make it up to you.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about time before we die.
You have conversations with him, and you go, oh, wait a minute, he's not an adult, and you forget, you know, because he really is the smartest little kid.
Come on, we shouldn't be in a room.
It's not a room anymore.
He is really brilliant. I mean, usually when you're dealing with children, it's difficult because you can't talk in depth about character issues. You have to talk about surface issues. And with David, he wants to know about character and what is he thinking now, and what is the internal kind of emotional core to his character and the single parent complex, and you know, how does he feel about not having dad, and why is dad not around, and you know, he's a messed up kid, and to play that, I think you have to really understand what that is, and you don't kind of blow his mind when you talk about those things on that level, and that's really wonderful.
What about the person we show it to? What happens to them?